Hello, all viewers. This is Tez Doctor 97 presenting you another video in a series of the Berwick Saga Tier. Today, we're doing the midpoint tier list. And we will start with. We'll start age now. Okay, here's Ageno. She's a Ven mage. Her growth rates aren't that great and I don't care about it, but I wish her Ven rank was a bit better. Like around 60 or 70, it would have been nice. Anyway, she can focus chant once in around 6 to 7 turns. I can check the skill to be exact. Anyway, she needs to be at level 15 and have 30 Ven rank to promote. And she has a preferred weapon called Palestiana. It regenerates at the end of each chapter for around 2 years or something. But let me check it out. Here you go, it hits 4 times, it recalls 8 MP, so you can use it twice basically at the end of each map. Suppose you depleted all of its uses, so you can use it up to 10 times, I guess. 60 is pretty good for Berwick Saga, and it has 1 to 2 range too, so it's a much better Dark Thunder in a weird way. Anyway, she joins in 3-1, so she joins pretty early too, which is kinda nice. Anyway, let's check out Focus Chant and Miracle and then move on to the next unit. Yeah, it's a random chance to avoid a lethal attack, I guess. I mean, it's not great, but it's better than nothing. Anyway, wanna check the exact details of Focus Chant? I do know it does extra damage and it stacks well. Yeah, it gives extra 30 hit and it boosts the might from 10 to 30%. You can use it for once in 7 turns, I guess. Anyway, Wind Magic does have multiple hits for the most part, so it is very hard to raise its weapon rank. Suppose if you miss once, you're gonna miss the whole weapon rank. That's why it's pretty hard to raise the weapon ranks to Wind Magic tones, Wind Magic orbs. Anyway, it also has a Blizzard Orb, so I can just show it to you. The Blizzard Orb increases the chances of injuring a unit. It goes pretty well with a Focus Chant skill. Yeah, there's this pretty decent chance to get injured. Combine this with Percival's chance of getting crippling, and you have a good unit. Blizzard Tome is pretty damn expensive, dude, and That's one, so that's a good way to raise a weapon rank, I guess. You can get it from these events. Anyway, let's move on to the next unit. Sorry, no. Give me a second. Yeah. Here is where the hell is Taddy? Yeah, there you go. There's Taddy. Taddy's just Taddy's a thief for hire basically, so it's pretty handy to have. I'll just show you the exact details once we go to the Discord server. Okay, here's Taddy. He's a level 2 thief for a burglar. He has locked out. I guess he can open the door. He can provoke units. He can steal stuff. And this is kind of cool. He has a guaranteed chance to steal, so it's kind of nice. I guess I'll check the exact details. Evasion is basically a chance. It's a command skill which boosts his evasion. Search and hide is kind of typical thief skills, and he has extra critical. His knife throw rate isn't that great, but it's in promote, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I just need to spend 500 denarii on him, so just hire him for the main missions and you'll reach it pretty quickly. And his first map is 4-2, so you wanna check it out. Anyway, we'll check his skills. I wanna check steal and evasion to be exact. Yeah, you can steal an unequipped item or a weapon. That's kind of cool, but most of the enemies gonna equip an item anyway. But it's kind of nice. It has a limit of 3 times, I guess, but it's better than Mog in a way if you want to get items. Anyway, evasion. Oh yeah, that's wrong command. Put a new by mistake. Anyway. Just come on. Yeah. You can use it for once in 5 turns and increase the reward by 50 until you take an action. So it's kinda handy for them to act as bait, especially with provoke. But yeah, you gotta be careful with this skill. Anyway, let's move on to the next unit. The next unit is Christine. Well, Christine is a Bow Cavalier, so she's pretty decent, honestly. It's just you need to raise her on other mercenaries, so she is gonna have a hard time to compete, but she's a fine unit to be honest. Let's check her on our Discord bot server, I mean. Okay, here is Christine. She has a bow of 50, it's fine, but she is much better obviously with crossbows. So you want to rely on crossbows a lot more, I guess. You want to raise the bows in the side missions probably, where it's less risky. Anyway, she has aim, which means she can boost her hit rates before, but she doesn't. She can't move and use aim, so you gotta make sure she stays still. She can swap horses with other units who have horses. She can restore the horse's HP, and she has arm stuff, which means her weapons degrade at a much slower rate. Anyway, her promotion is she needs to reach level 15 at 20 in bow and crossbow. The bow one might be a bit slow, but I guess it's much better than Albert's spear, which is at 30. So yeah, that's fine. You'll reach it eventually. Anyway, you need to complete chapter 10 main, so she gets a preferred weapon called Hawkeye, but you need to complete the map 8-1. If you skip it, you're not gonna get it. Let's check that out. I'm pretty sure it's a crossbow, but I want to check it out to be sure. Okay, that's a pretty damn powerful crossbow. It's gonna break quickly though, so you wanna use it sparingly. Anyway, crossbows are amazing. There's Chukono, which can attack 4 times, so Christine is not going to have issues offensively. Frankly speaking, I can just show you. Let me check it out. Yeah, there you go, Chukono. She doesn't even need cooldown with like Sherlock does. Her hit rate is a bit low for my tastes, but you can combine it with aim and canto and position and right position and the right timing, and you'll be fine. Especially if you combine it with magical arrows, which the enemy is weak against, so she's pretty good. Just use it carefully. Let me check her out. Yeah. She has a night type movement, so she'll have a hard time moving across terrain, but that's fine. I guess she could counter strike if she gets the right stats. She gets +2 speed, but she doesn't need it honestly. Anyway, on to the next unit. The next unit is Sylvis. Here you go. Okay, Sylvis is basically Christine if she doesn't have a mount and a much better bow rank and a crossbow rank. Anyway, let's move on to the Discord server to discuss about her. Anyway, here's Sylvis. She has much better pieces than Christine, obviously. She has much better growth rates than Christine too, which is kind of nice. So She has a much better bow rank at 60. Her growth rates are a bit lower and a crossbow at 40, but she can use it on a pinch if you want to. Anyway, she's much better with a bow, obviously. Anyway, Overwatch is I'll just show it to you. I guess it's much better if I show it to you. I guess these need to be in small letters. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go, my notifications. Yeah, she's gonna set up a trap in which an enemy's she's gonna attack an enemy if an enemy reaches a range. Sylvis comes in at a composite bow and steel arrow plus, so she is pretty damn accurate compared to most of your units, and you can't trade those items away anyway since she's a mercenary, so yeah, she's gonna be more accurate than most of your bow units early on. Anyway, she needs to reach level 10 and 12 happiness, so if you want to recruit her, you gotta use her regularly. It's not like Volo where you can just hide and feed him and he'll just come and join you. You need to raise her level to level 10, so you gotta use her. Anyway, she has expert, so she can use much better bows early on compared to Christine, Albert, and give me a second, I need to check the other bow unit. Esteban, yeah. So she can use level 10 bows right at base. And that gap is gonna increase much further as she levels up. Anyway, she can hide in maps, which is going to be handy. Let's check out a meme skill. I guess it's a proc chance to injure, but I want to check it out to be sure. There you go. Oh, directly cripple? That's kinda cool. I guess you can combine this with Aperon and Steel Arrow plus directly cripple enemies. Selvis is going to be a pretty reliable crippler early on until you get Percival at least, relatively speaking. Especially combine this with a bow rank, so you get 9 plus 5, 14% chance of cripple early on. And that is going to increase a lot. I think snipers have around 50 or 60, so we can check it out. Like, there's no other bow unit which is a class. Okay, I don't think they put class infinity on what. That's a shame. Oh well. Anyway, we can check the serenesforest to be exact. I'm pretty sure it's 50 or 60. It's likely to be 60, so 35 is a max rate, or 30 is a max rate, I guess. It's decent enough. But Percival is going to be a lot reliable later on. And you can only activate up to 5 times, so Percival is a much better crippler, in my opinion. Okay, we can check out Deadeye once, I guess. Okay, you can attack at extra range, but you lose accuracy. You can only use it if you don't move. So, Sylvus has extra range with a bow, can attack with more accuracy, can injure you, cripple units, can set a bait as Overwatch, and can use better bows than all of your bow units combined early on and much later on. She's a pretty good unit, it's just that you are much better units to use in the long term. Okay, the next unit is Alvina. So where the hell is the girl? Yeah, there you go. Well, she's a pretty important story character. I won't spoil it, be exact. But she's basically a recruitable Camus, I guess. That's kind of cool. A female knight that's enemy knight that's not very recruitable. Anyway, let's move on to the Discord board and why she is good. Here you go, Alvina. She is a level 12 paladin with pretty damn impressive bases. She has 17 sword, 20 spear, 18 medium shield, 18 small shield skill. I guess Ruby will be much better with her weapon ranks if she's used regularly, but like Alvina isn't exactly a bad unit to use. Like she can take hits, she can counter strike, she can attack, she can defend. Like she can do all the stuff Clifford does, I guess. All the paladin does, all the mountain units don't, like Albert. It's just that she joins at a much later point, so she doesn't have a chance to grow up weapons. So she has like around 10 to 12 maps. That's the cheaper of the game. Anyway, let's check a preferred weapon. She comes in pretty amazingly and pretty damn good horse. It gives an extra boost in moves, so she'll be fine on the main missions, especially with Reese and his charisma skill. Use it for the main missions and you'll be fine. There you go. It's a pretty accurate spear, it's a pretty durable spear and it hits twice, so she is not gonna have any combat issues for the most part. Like she's an amazing unit, it's just that the weapon skill levels are a bit low at the point she joins. Like Albert's probably gonna have a much better sword rank. Clifford's definitely gonna have a much better spear rank. Ruby's gonna have a much better weapon ranks overall. Like it's fine at a point she joins, but you wanna use it for the main missions. And she can't even use a Knight Sword, which is a level 15, so you gotta raise the level to 3 points if you wanna use that. Not like she needs it for a shot, but it's still nice to have. And its pre-growth is pretty insane at 40%, but bracketing is gonna limit the stats. And magic is kind of resistant in this game, so she has to use too, it's kinda nice. Anyway, she can throw spears without getting a counter attack. That's kind of cool. She can adapt, but you need a high weapon rank to use her at the best potential. Oh, she has mercy, so she can cripple units. That's kind of nice. That's sort of kills. That is kind of cool, I guess, if you want to do that. And she has shield fair, so her block rates are gonna be improved. I think. Like, she's a fine unit. It's just that she joins lead. And the best part is that she's a free unit, so if you don't recruit left foot, it will have a UB. And Elbert is kinda crap. You can use her and you'll be fine. It's gonna happen to first time players, especially if they don't know how to manage the money. And Berwick Saga. So, well, shout out to Kaga for managing a well designed game. Anyway, let's move on to the next unit. The next unit is Dowd. Well, a man met the legend Dowd. Anyway, it's basically an axe armor unit without having penalty and not having the armor weakness. Like, he's a pretty decent unit to have around, but well, let's go to the Discord server to show you more details about him. Okay, here's Dawood. He has pretty impressive HP, 36. That's probably equal to Vard at this point. Well, he doesn't have bracketing, that's the best part, so his stats can increase by a lot or don't increase at all, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, if he just gets at least one speed clock and he promotes, he can counter strike pretty damn easily. Anyway, he has Pulverize, Axe Guard, Robust, which means he can't be crippled. And he has a Battle Cry. His Axe rank is pretty decent, I guess. He has only one weapon, so that's gonna go up eventually. Small shield and medium shield, let's check his promotion requirements. Yeah, I see. 20 small shield is gonna reach it pretty easily, and 10 medium shields. So gonna use medium shield on him anyways. So he's gonna reach his shield ranks pretty easily. It's just that his axe rank is gonna take a while, and you need to reach level 15 anyways. So you just use him regularly and he'll reach a point pretty quickly. Just use him up to level 15 and reach his weapon ranks. It's not much that hard for him. Anyway, let's check his skills. Pulverize first. I'm pretty sure it stacks up. It's basically a stack up skill where you boost your damage and accuracy. But I'll just check it out to be sure. That's probably not Pulverize, I think it's Yell. Battle Cry, yeah, there you go. That's a skill. See, raise the defense is 0 and attack is double at first strike. I mean, you can't double in Berwick Saga for the most part, so it's basically double damage at the cost of reducing your defense. And you can stack battle cries, which means you can potentially one shot you stack up enough battle cries. Like, basically, well, Dane and Dog can use axes, so you don't have much competition for them. Either way. Yeah, there you go. You stack up for each cry and you can stack up to 6 times. So you can boost it up to 18 might and 60 hit. So if you use it out of 6 turns, you're probably going to pulverize most units on one shot pretty reliably. But you need to see still, so Dower is going to have a hard time using it. Anyway, Axe Gun is like it's kind of a waste of a skill, but I'll just check it out to be sure. Okay, gains Axe defense status on an X action. Okay, basically use Axe as a shield. Cannot counter attack, that kind of sucks. Yeah, I mean, it's a waste of a skill. And it's a random chance of proccing, so it's gonna proc a lot when his weapon skill reaches a high level. Anyway, if Dean is offensive axe unit, Dower is a defensive axe unit who has a potential to hit hard. Anyway, that should be it for Dower. Let's move on to the next unit. Okay, we're back. Our next unit is Kramer. Kramer is a mercenary basically. He's like Sherpa, but he's at a much lower level and has worse weapon skill levels. He has a much different skill set though compared to Sherpa, so let's move on to the Discord server to show how he fights. Yes, Kramer, I guess bracketing is kind of average, I guess. Anyway, he has 8 strength and 11 speed, so he's gonna counter strike with a light sword either way. And his sword growth rank is pretty impressive, so you're gonna get it eventually. So his skill set Arrowbane, which means he can avoid arrows and ballista. Knock away, he has a chance to knock away shields, I guess, and he doesn't get avoid penalties on cliffs, which is kind of nice for some missions where the ballista mountains or arrows and mountains, I guess. Anyway, if you want to recruit him, I think he needs to be at least at level 10 and 9 happiness, so you gotta use him right away. Reaching his promotion level is pretty damn easy. With 70 growth rate and swords, he's easily gonna hit 30 swords at any point. The thing is, he needs to reach level 15. That is going to be hard if you don't use him regularly. And if you want to recruit him, you want to complete the map Stolen Sword and give him the Balmung Sword. Anyway, his happiness requirement is pretty easy, it's just that his level is a bit hard considering he's on level 3. Anyway, let's check out his preferred weapon. I think it gives him, it's a blade. Kramer can use blades either once he's recruited or is promoted, so let's check him out. If we could use blades at a much earlier point, he'd be a much better unit. Here you go, 16 might, 70 head, 8 weight. Yeah, it's a preferred weapon, and most units are never going to reach level 30 honestly. So it's basically Kramer's preferred weapon, and it gives. Oh, if you don't give it to Kramer, anyone can use it. That's kind of cool. Anyway. Well, Guess Kramer is a good unit, so you wanna keep him anyway. If you go to the effort of raising him. Parry is basically a block at the cost of reducing your durability, so that is kind of nice to have in a bench. Anyway, that's it for Kramer. Let's move on to the next unit. Okay, the next unit is Faye. She is a much better unit compared to Volo and all of the other SWAT units, potential SWAT units. However, she has the most potential among all the SWAT units, so let's move on to the Discord server to discuss about her. Like here I go Faye, she doesn't have much strength. SWAT girl is pretty damn impressive and it's easily gonna reach. Adept is a chance to attack again and it's gonna happen a lot, especially once the SWAT skill grows a lot. Parry is a chance to block at the cost of reducing weapon durability. Yado, she dodges. She is going to have a much reliable chance of hitting enemy. Saunders an extra chance to correct, I guess, on command. She gets Astra and Blades on promotion. Okay, here you go. You need to complete 2M and that's when she starts joining as a mercenary. After completing the Altar of Razi, she is temporarily not available and she joins the next chapter. You need to raise Face Happiness to 6. First, to you the first event. And then you need to raise Face Happiness to 12 and level 10 while keeping Faramir alive. So if Faramir is there, you can't recruit her, I guess. If you complete chapter 11, you don't have to have this chapter requirements, I guess. Though you want to keep her at level 10, probably. Anyway, she has two preferred weapons, the Cutlass and the Retra. The Retra you get it at the last map, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's the best way to defeat Chaos with the Astra skill, so you probably want to get it if you want to use her. There are other ways to defeat Chaos, but like she is the best way to defeat Chaos, so you probably want to use her, I guess, if on a first playthrough at least. Anyway, BWS item Cutlass. It's a much weaker version of the Cutlass Plus, but it's a nice weapon to have, especially with the Thunder skill. There you go. Yeah, it's pretty accurate for a sword. It gives an extra strike. I guess you could give it to Ward if you want to, but why the hell will you give it to Ward? Anyway, Octaford. Anyway, BW's Retra. Vajra's Chaos One, I guess, so Retra is Face Sword. Then you go 16 might, 80 accuracy. You're not gonna break it. It's on the last mission. And you don't want to use it as a miracle charm, even though Faye's not exactly a game over unit, so Yeah, there you go. You want to use the retro as much as possible in last mission. Just make sure you use it on chaos first. Anyway, we'll check out the Sandra Master skill. I want to check if it has a cooldown. No, it doesn't have a cooldown. It gives an extra crit chance. I guess it goes well with some of the weapons like the Vectra, the Cutlass, but yeah, that's kind of nice to have. Anyway, VW's Astra. Like, this is a much reliable kill skill compared to Deathmatch. But you can use it once in 7 turns, and you can use it regardless of whether you move or not, so that's kind of nice to know. Anyway, that should be it for Faye. Let's move on to the next unit. Okay, we are back. The next unit is Axel. So here you go. As you can see, Axel is a pirate. Like, nearly 3 axe units, and Axel is the worst axe unit technically speaking. Like, he can fight and is the best combat unit for searching treasure and all, but and he's only unit who can swim, so if there's a side mission where you need to go in the water, you want to bring Axel, like 3M, so there you go. Like, his was deployed for a few missions, I guess. Anyway, let's move on to the Discord server to discuss about him. Like, I love Axel's side story, but like, he's trying to restore his adopted daughter's eyesight, so he's going to fight as a mercenary to find medicine. That's kind of cool. Yeah, you can see he's the worst actually. Technically, his axe goat rank is not that impressive, so you're not going to use him for the long term. He can swim in the water, he can search for treasure, he can hide in places. He has a pulverized skill, so he can double that. He can double his damage out with a concentrate, reduce his defense. So ways. He can't even promote, so he's just there, I guess. You just need to raise his happiness to 5 and bring him on 9M, I guess. That's it. Pretty simple. Just bring him for a few maps and bring him 9M and we'll get through them. Not that hard. And you're gonna bring him for 3M anyways, so we're gonna satisfy 1.5 happiness. So that's pretty simple. Just bring him for maps. Be fine. We're gonna bring him for a few maps out of the way. I want to check out what robbery does to be exact. Okay, it's a proc chance to steal an item. It's a 25 chance, it's a fixed chance to steal an item. That's kind of cool, and you can activate only 3 times per map. And you can't steal items that are. You can't steal items like. So, access level 5, you can't steal items at levels. Rank of level 6, that kind of sucks. I mean, it's a shitty skill, but it's nice to have. Anyway, he can hide, so we can use him on escape maps, I guess. Anyway, that should be it for Axel. Okay, the next unit is Leon. Like, he joins at 1M, so he has perfect availability. And he uses lances and has deathmatch like roller and can use shields and has robbers, which means can be crippled. So why is he at mid instead of top? Let's move on to the Discord server to tell you why. Here's Leon. Like a spear rotates rapidly. The Vesture shield is a bit better. It's kinda low for compared to almost every shield you get. Anyway, supporter if idle is next to him or near him is gonna boost his hit rates. He can throw lances once it reaches a level 11. So he can't counter strike. He has 4 defense. He is a bit frail, but he can take hits with a small shield. So he is much bulkier in Volu, but lances are. Yeah, there you go. 30 spear. He's gonna reach it eventually, but he's going to have a hard time reaching that. Anyway, I'll show you that match. Yeah, attack 5 times. Enemy must be able to counter attack, and both fighters can counter attack even critic damage. So basically, you fight to death. And lances do have much lower durability, so they're gonna break a lot sooner. Deathmatch is a much riskier skill with Leon compared to Volo. At least Volo can dodge, but Leon can take hits with the right small shield, so you wanna consider that, I guess. The block chance is going to be low considering relatively low shield skill and the shield growth rate. He gets lances upon promotion, which is basically a much better spear. It deals a lot more damage compared to a spear, but you can't counter attack, so that is something. And he gets a much worse movement time after promotion, so he can't move across terrain like he used to before promotion. Anyway, that should be it for Leon. I forgot to say Leon has a mount, so you want to dismount if you want to use deathmatch, otherwise the horse is gonna die. Anyway, let's check on the next unit. The next unit and the last unit in the mid-tier is Burrows. He is a ballista unit with low moves, so He is going to be an interesting unit. Let's go on to the Discord server to check out how good he is. Let me place him on a map before I do that. Here's Burrows. Okay, let's check out our Discord server. Just give me a second, headphones a bit off. Oh, I didn't need it, but it's just a habit anyway. PW's unit. Space. Yeah, for an extra space, that's not a problem. Yeah, I think I need to put the light. Anyway, I just remove headphones and I'm using it. Okay, there you go, Burrows. There you go. He has arm strength. Oh, he can use crossbows. That's kind of nice. Like, you can use crossbows in a pinch, I guess. Like, it's not impressive, but if you want to use something around a ballista, I guess you have crossbows. Anyway, ballistas are basically his preferred weapon. His weapons deteriorate at a much lower rate. He can stack up battle cries to increase his damage. He can move a bit further at the cost of not using an action. And if he reaches level 7 combined with ballista, his hits are gonna be a lot more accurate. Plus 33 to be exact, but it's still accurate. Anyway, he joins at the start of chapter 9 if he escapes at 8M wooden cavalry. Yeah, that's it for Burrows, honestly. Ballistas give him extra range compared to most units, so he can hit much further than most units, but he has low moves, so that kind of balances out each other in a way. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. It is stuck to this point. Thank you for watching. See you all in the next video. Subscribe and all the jazz. Goodbye.